Hey there! That was cool! I have no clue what to say to this, frankly, other than a reiteration of the thank you I gave towards the end. Your reception was phenomenal. I'm so humbled, and now I can cross another creative goal off my bucket list. Have a popular YouTube video. So, okay, there were a ton of frequently asked questions in the comments, so that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to answer them, and yes, I read each and every one of the comments. So to those dozen of you who wrote nasty things, assuming I wouldn't see them, I hope you're having a better day than you were. All right, so the first and biggest question, who is she? So Mythrix talks about her a lot. Her sacrifice, she must have taken a dozen gates with her. Oblivious to her sacrifice, she should have died for me. Hopu is making it blatantly obvious that this character is important, but frustratingly, the breadcrumbs they're leaving are conflicting with the answers in and of themselves, and that leads to what I think it is. There's not enough info yet to determine who she is. I know, I'm sorry. And wait. I know you're thinking it's the Heretic, and that checks out. I get it. She's a mysterious character and everything, but that's the problem. That's where the speculation stops. In the unique dialogue, Mythrix calls her vermin, whereas in all of the logs where Mythrix regards her, she has godlike importance, just like himself and his brother. Not a vermin, right? And on top of that, Mythrix mentions her to Providence long before Kurskon the Heretic would have even been born. Heretic being her just doesn't line up with the timeline. The only other godlike figure we know of is Nikahana, so that's where my guess lies. We'll just have to see when we get more lore. So then, who is the Heretic, right? That's the question on everyone's mind. So here's where I think Kurskon lies in the story. She's made of lunar items, right? Mythrix calls her vermin, and her name in and of itself means believing contrary to what's established. That's heresy. In her logbook entry, she's dashing through the contact light after the ship begins to go down from the first game, and when she reaches the bridge, Providence is waiting for her and chops her into pieces. And then those pieces become the 4 lunar items required to summon her. So it's all lining up, right? Providence kills anyone holding the beads of fealty. It seems so likely that Kurskon came to Petrichor, started following Mythrix, but then committed heresy and stopped. He went from trying to teach her how to open the primordial teleporter to hating her as much as anyone else, but because she's associated with Mythrix, Providence chops her up to defend his zoo. It all checks out, but then, plot hole. Heretic's log specifically says that she was on board the contact light, stuck in storage, the exact same as Acrid was. She escapes, then seems to meet up with Providence by happenstance. Her limbs get cut off and spread across the moon. Unfortunately, as far as my digging is concerned, we can't ascertain who she is exactly. All the theory and evidence leads her to being an ex-Mythrix follower. It just makes sense, but then her log slaps that theory down entirely. It's frustrating. What we do know is that she escaped containment when Prov was attacking the contact light. He prepped that turkey for Thanksgiving and set her to bake overnight at 400 degrees on the moon. Heretic's information just conflicts with itself. Too much to get a solid idea. Sorry. Okay, so here's a cool one, and this actually sheds light on a crucial mistake I made. What do you mean we're the bad guys? We're just defending ourselves. Yes, you are exactly correct, and I don't blame anyone for thinking this. What I failed to explain clearly is that there is no binary between heroes and villains in our case. In fact, us human survivors are just survivors. We have no role in the brotherly feud, we just stumbled into it. We just kill hostile wildlife, valid, and bump into slaying Mythrix so we can escape from the moon. So we're good guys, right? We killed the bad guy? Not necessarily. Yes, we killed the bad guy, but in the first game we also killed Petrichor's hero. Now there's no one to take care of the denizens, and there's no one to bring them to destruction. All we've done is ended a cycle of zookeeping. That's it. And as we know from Mythrix's condemnation of his brother, none of these creatures support a healthy biodiversity. They're all very angry beings. Without Providence, they're going to burn themselves out. And after the safe travel leaves, Petrichor's fauna will die. That planet is doomed. We're not heroes, but we're also not villains. In the grand scheme of the planet's history, it's been doomed from the start. We just blew the powder keg. Next question, why does the contact light have a teleporter on it? How does Providence get aboard? Okay, it's a lovely question, and I would like to thank Power of the Storm for commenting a great answer. You kick butt, dude, thank you. So remember the Bighorn bison log, right? The Saturnian bison. They used to be on Saturn, but then they vanished. Oh, I wonder why. It isn't hard to discern that Providence yoinked them and added to his collection on Petrichor, and that's why we fight them there. how else would he get to Saturn to steal those bison other than using a teleporter? How would he collect every single bison on the planet without using multiple teleporters? Saturn is big. How did the contact light get a teleporter on it? Easy. Us humans plucked one from the leftovers from Saturn. Okay, next question. I didn't like the voices. That's perfectly fine. It's okay. It's theatrical, right? And totally not a thing for everyone. Most of you were very kind about your opinion, and I appreciate that. You're great, and you're entitled to it. But to that one friend who callously reminded me moderation always, to this I say,
don't speak to me like you know me, vermin. You have no idea how many voice lines I cut from the project.
But that's okay, little one. No hard feelings.
See, the reason I chose to design modulations for the 4 characters is that because the video is not a theory crafting one. It's all based on real evidence Hopu gave us, and therefore I had to read the logs aloud. There's no other option, and it would have been hella boring to not have a bit of characterization. You know what I'm saying? The voices help the pacing. It helps keeps things interesting from segment to segment, but most importantly, it gives you a sort of familiarity with the perspectives. If it's not Astro's voice, it's someone important. If it is Astro's voice, it's not Mythrix. From a filmmaking perspective, the voices are critical for us to keep all of this information organized. And also, bluntly, they were a lot of fun to do. Oh man, okay, so I'll have to make a video showing how I stacked all the effects to make the characters come alive. It was a great time to get back into acting again after high school, however small it was. Okay, now I got some quick-fire questions. Who are the Void Reavers? They're basically time wardens. They only start appearing when you repeat a loop, i.e. go back to the first stage, and hunt after you because you're messing with time. I'm pretty sure these are the, quote, grander gates Mythrix was working on. It's time stuff. He's messing with time now, so that's why the moon gets captured in a giant Reaver bubble at the end instead of exploding or something. Why do humans go back to Petrichor after the events of Risk of Rain 1? Because there's a lot of freaking money still there? Do you have any idea what the total value of all those items we've picked up and tossed away? Shoot, this is exactly what Bandit tells us in his log. It's the goddamn contact light. We've got to recover our shipments as well as investigate the tragedy. This is a big deal. Why doesn't Mythrix just escape the moon after we kill Providence? Why is he still waiting? Okay, great question. He says in the Moment Whole log that his servant cannot open the primordial teleporter while Providence is still alive. He could never do it himself to begin with, hence the creation of the Beads of Fealty to lure someone else into doing it for him. Now that Providence is dead, us humans unknowingly open it for him. Okay, now, the rest of them are questions for Astro, so let's get personal. Our boy Dr. Schmuckfield has a few for us. Will you ever do a Twitch versus thing where you play games with your viewers? Good question. I don't know. I don't know about Twitch since I don't like the website very much, but I would love to play some runs with our little community after the Discord gets set up. Sounds fun. What's some advice for people who want to start a hobby but don't have motivation or are afraid of the fear of failure, fear of being ridiculed, that sort of thing? You might not like this answer, but I don't believe in motivation per se. Okay, motivation can get you to start something. In fact, with creative hobbies, that's what almost always happens, but it's discipline that makes you pursue it. Whatever you pick up, just keep doing it every single day. Doesn't matter if it's 1 hour or 1 minute, just make it consistent. Pick up the pencil. Leave the guitar hanging out instead of putting it away. Keep the karaoke video on a pinned tab so it's always there in front of you. Be numerically better than you were yesterday, and the skill will come in no time. It really doesn't matter how little you do, just keep doing it, and that discipline will grow in no time. Now, the second part about the fear of ridicule, I'm gonna save that for last at the end of the video because I want to tell you all a story, so stick around for that. Third question from Dr. Schmuckefield. Since you're a game developer, is it better for all characters in a PvP game to be busted or bad? So, I don't normally see it as a binary option, but if I had to pick between the two of those, I would say busted is better. A bad character just wouldn't be fun, right? Like, let's have everyone be kick-ass. Some games that come to mind are Under Night In-Birth, Command & Conquer, even the Warhammer 40k tabletop game. Everyone is busted in their own unique way. Like, everyone has their really, really good quirks, and that makes them fun. Next question, how did you do the vocal effects? Okay, I'm definitely going to do a video on it. In short, I recorded all my voice lines into FL Studio and then added different effects onto the master channel. Reverb, chorus, delay, flange, that sort of thing. And then your standard EQ and compression. So stay tuned for that. Okay, next question. What's the music that's played? I got asked this so many times. I was so surprised. Okay, so I'm really glad everyone liked the music choices. I'm flattered. The track at the beginning, middle, and end are Alex's theme from Prey 2017. Great game. And the track during Mythrix's descent is the Torvus Bog, Torvus, Torvus Bog subterranean theme from Metroid Prime 2. I guess I'll link both of those, but they're both great games you should play, Prey and Metroid Prime 2, the latter of which I will be covering in the future, so stay tuned for that. Okay, now, back to the new hobby question about fear of ridicule. Gather around, my children. It is time for a story. Fear of ridicule is a different question altogether. Here's the reality, okay? Performing or putting things online is really scary. You take something that you're proud of and add it to the ever-filling trash pile that is the internet. You get some spotlight time and then someone else takes your place. That's the nature of what we've built. It's normal. You invite yourself to criticism, good and bad, but what comes of that is those who put eyes on your work are very quick to judge you. They hold you to the standards of celebrities. That, combined with the illusion of anonymity on the internet, makes it easy for strangers with edgy profile pictures to say crude things and then just keep scrolling. I remember when I put out my very first video game, Ninja Couch Party. I worked on it for 11 months during college. Many Saturdays and Sundays were completely gone, all devoted to making the game. I built everything except the audio from scratch. And on the day I released it, my very first feedback, the first comment I had gotten on my year-long entrance into the industry was, okay, that artwork looks a little rough, buddy. And I was mad. I didn't want to look at the thing anymore. I wanted to take it down, but I didn't. Because someone told me that to be an artist is to develop thick skin, and my pride for my work helped me swallow down that remark. Also, my mom was very proud of me. Then the good comments came in. And then my friends held a surprise party where everyone played my game on the big TV and we all ate snacks while I watched. It wasn't before too long that I was asked to show Ninja Couch Party at university events. The teachers found out about it, and then local game development conferences. It won an award. People used what I had done as an example of what my school's program teaches, and that was the most humbling experience of my entire life. Instead of taking it down, I kept it up. And the ridicule came. Oh, don't worry, it did. But I kept it up, and I stuck through it, and I kept making more, and I released updates, and it got better and better. And soon, I forgot all about the, as we're saying, ridicule. Because it's not. It's just people saying nasty things and then scrolling away. It's not real. And that's what's beautiful about it. So Schmuckfield and anyone else listening that wants to do something, you absolutely can. And don't be afraid. Creativity is one of the most beautiful gifts we've been given. And unfortunately, some people just suck. But when they do come along, and they will, don't pay them any mind. Don't even reply. Focus on all the lovely things people tell you. Ignore the dislikes and appreciate the upvotes. Even if it's only 12 thumbs up, imagine how big a room of 12 people is. Your family will say you did a good job. And then your friends. And then strangers. And when strangers tell you you've done a good job, then you know you've hit it. It is only up from there. And one day, when you do start making things, I'll be so excited to see it. Well, now that I've derailed the lore Q&A entirely, I hope you enjoyed. Okay, before we go for the day, don't leave, hold on, wait. I want to give back a little bit to this community for being so supportive of me. So there's this team of creators that reached out to me recently that are building a machinima series about Risk of Rain 2, and I beg you, please go watch a few minutes of this video I have linked in the diddly-do. I find it gut-bustingly funny, and this team needs more love. They put way more work into these things than I have ever done in anything I've made. So when you get there, tell them Astro sent you. And that's that. I'll see you again in whatever video I decide to do next. Until then, safe travels, explorers.